was just sitting on the computer one day, and I was talking to my girlfriend, and I told her, like, I want to create something where men, well, actually, initially I was going to do it for women. I want to create something where a woman could open up and, you know, express love. And so she told me, why do it for women when you can do it for men? Because when do men ever get uplifted? When do men ever have the opportunity to tell their stories without being called, yo, you pussy, or you soft, or why are you even telling me? I don't care. And I've personally had that happen to me. So for me to be able to create something to where men could actually express themselves without judgment, without pressure, is truly a blessing. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. You know, this is a huge opportunity for me to even be doing this. It's my first event, and I really appreciate it. This is the first of many. My vision for this, you know, I really plan on taking this nationwide. I want to go to different barbershops, different salons, different beauty areas in general, and of course help people create avenues to where they can express themselves. Because if you're just going to be honest, everybody has a story to tell. But not everybody has somebody to tell it to. Until now. So starting now, I want to bring up Khalil. He's the MC for tonight. And he'll be introducing all the guest speakers. So come on, Khalil.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Right.
Hey, I hope everybody's enjoying the food. Definitely want to thank Kai for having all of us out here and bringing all of us together for this wonderful event. I'm definitely really excited. I hope everybody's excited as well. Everybody's excited?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, hey, I love it. Yeah, that's cool. So the first person that we're gonna have up here is definitely someone that I really look up to. I've known him for a little over a year and some change now, and it's really somebody who really inspires me to do better. You know, we come from like really similar backgrounds, really strong-minded person, but he's also really ambitious. He also has this really fire behind podcast, and if you have an iPhone or Android or anything, you definitely have to go on there and follow him, and please subscribe, because it's really mind-changing. It's really mind-changing. You know, I can sit here, I can really talk about him all night. Everybody please give your hands up for Mr. Tony Stevenson, okay?
How y'all doing?
Good.
I think I got the most important part tonight. We gotta talk about mental health, man. You know, that's real taboo in amongst men, honestly. You know, Kai, I think what you're doing is amazing. I'm super excited that you asked me to speak about it, but you also put me on the spot. Now I gotta be vulnerable about who I am, right? But I'm gonna talk about mental health for a minute, man, just because a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Raleigh, North Carolina. Ended up moving to Columbia, South Carolina. That's where most of my trauma as a child, that's where most of the trauma happened as a child. You know, grew up in the neighborhood. My role model was my cousin, and he was a gangbanger, so by default, what was I? A gangbanger, right? I grew up thinking that expressing your feelings through fighting was the way men communicated. Like, if me and you had a problem, and like I wasn't even the type to get so hype about it. It would just be like, yo, come on. Like, you know, because that was just the environment I was raised in. And it was a lot of things that happened in my life, even up until this point. And I want to encourage everybody, if you feel like you should get a therapist, you should go figure out how to get a therapist. Jay-Z talked about it. He said, man, if Jay-Z had to go get a therapist, imagine the lives we live. Why do we feel like we could survive without one?
Man, y'all, I really never thought about mental health as being really important, as how, you know, Tony was definitely making it seem. Really expressing your feelings. And I know a lot of times we don't express our feelings unless it's to a woman. But like Tony said, like, can they really relate to what's going on inside a man's brain? Like, who really feels that way? Who really who really feels that they just can't talk to anybody? It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at everybody's faces, and I seen like kind of like thinking going to work. Like, what are some of you guys' struggles? What are some of you guys' hardships? What goes on through your head when you wake up in the morning and right before you go to sleep at night? Anybody want to share? Okay, big fella with the gray shirt.
Usually in the morning, my biggest thing is like, can I do this today? You know, yeah, that's usually like the thing that like keep me pinned down in bed. Like, can I do this today? And then next thing you know, time flies and most of the day is gone, especially on like a weekend. But yeah, that's usually a struggle for me.
Okay. Anybody else?
You know, I think that you know, after high school, I moved very, very fast in things that I know that I want in my life and what I want to do. And it just feels like I got a lot on my shoulders. Everybody's watching me. Like, if you fail, we told you so. And that's something that I can definitely say that I'm afraid of, is waking up and not doing enough, and somebody telling me, "Hey, man, I told you so."
Like, as men, we should be there to be able to uplift, you know, another brother, whether he be our same color, our same size, anything. We should be there for one another. We should be there to make sure that, hey, man, you good? Because we need that. Everybody needs a you good every now and then, right? So, you know, moving on with the program tonight, fellas. I know this guy who's about to bring up, you know, he's really inspirational, and I recently got in a relationship, and I kind of look at him and his wife as something I kind of want to model my relationship after. I've never really been in a good relationship. It always ended kind of the same way a lot of the times, and most of the time it was my fault. But, you know, I definitely see him and how he treats his wife and how he is, you know, raising his family and how he's being that man, that figure for his family. And I definitely want him to come here and share all that relationship advice so he can be able to help us make sure that as we're building our empire, our queens, their goals are met as well, too. All right? So everybody give it up for Mr. Tracy Ham, okay? Woo!
So good evening, fellas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best to actually try to touch some nerves if I can. For the sake of being transparent, let me go ahead and qualify myself and let y'all know why I might be okay. I'm an okay candidate to stay up here. At least talk a little bit about it. So I've been married for 5 years. I'm 25 years old, right? And I know that's a little uncommon for brothers as young as myself to stay married. We don't really see examples of old people, especially ones that may look like us. And it's not to just highlight like people, but just marriage, period. It almost seems easier sometimes to just, can I poll the room? Who's single in here?
Like,
okay.
not married?
Okay. That's all right. Now, so I understand that everybody has, because of the points in your guys' life that you're at, you guys are listening differently. So who's either married or been married? Okay.
I want to comment on what you just said.
For sure.
You said 20 years old. It depends on your maturity. I got married at 22. I'm going on 20 years of marriage. So it goes on your maturity level. So
For sure.
people told me the same day, oh, don't do it. But my maturity level was way ahead than dudes that was in their 30s.
No, and you know what? There's the different mindset that some people have that they want to grow with their significant other, and some people think like they want to get all their fun time out the way and then they're ready to settle down. So that's what I'm saying. I understand everybody has different points that they listen at, so I want to hit on all cylinders if I can, because I done been through a nice couple bit of phases.
Wow. Hey, So honestly, fellas, listening to Tracy talk, what did we learn? What did we learn? Let's open the floor. What did we learn from Tracy a little bit?
I know for me, I have 4 kids, and I treat my kids like they're my bright and morning star. So I kind of take them first before I do my wife, and that kind of is the reason to the why she handles situations the way she does. And for him to put that out there like that kind of opened my eyes to that.
So, you know, I'm going to bring this guy up here. We're going to welcome Mr. Tim Wright. He's going to talk about leveling up, okay?
All right, how's everybody doing?
Great.
An amazing speech, by the way, man. We even handle our relationships based on our own personal identity. So, like, when we have a certain type of income, right? I know we talking to the men, so, you know, us making money is a big deal. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
So for us, and I mean, you guys can lie if you want to, but one thing I do in my life is I study people. So I know that your level of identity is based on the amount of money you make, based on the kind of car you drive, based on, you know, how much savings you got right now, how you carry yourself every day. is really, truly based on like the amount of money for most people, right? And of course, it'll be men that'll say, yeah, that ain't really true, man. Like, I am who I am. I don't care about the money. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Men care about money because if the lights went off today, your wife don't look towards you. Who's supposed to pay? Like, Tracy's supposed to be the provider, right? But I want to let you guys know, with me being a huge man of faith, you know, Tracy is definitely more disciplined than me. But you know how the tables turn. I speak about God more than he does, and that doesn't make me any better. He's probably much better of an individual than I am. I still got a lot of areas that I need to work on. But I'm a firm believer that God made you who you are before he put you in the position that you was in.
Man, that was crazy, right? I hope everybody took something from it to be able to go home and really implement that within themselves, to be able to, like, you know, wake up tomorrow morning and be like, all right, you know, it's a brand new day. Let me start off and try to better myself. Let me get to that next level. Let me hit that next mile marker, whatever that may be in your life, whether it be, you know, in the gym, financially, within your relationship, educational-wise, anything like that. Whatever your goals are, all right? All right, so, you know, our final speaker for tonight, you know, really, really great guy. I definitely look at him, you know, as a brother. He's a partner, you know, someone I definitely, truly love. And I really come to know, like, inside and out. You know, this guy, he makes me think about a lot of things. And the fact that, you know, he went out his way to put something like this together, you know, he really, really, really cares about making sure other people were good. Right? And, you know, he's going to come up here and he's going to empower everybody on finances and how to get that financial independency that we all looking for, right? So everybody, you know, give it up for Mr. Cosmic, all right? Woo!
How you guys doing, man?
Yeah. Great.
Well, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I had a whole speech prepared for this. I knew exactly what I was going to talk about, segment to segment. But I think now I want it to be an open heart session. And I want to speak from the heart. I was reading the scripture, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, which talks about having faith over fear. I was so fearful of how I was going to save money. I was so fearful of how I was going to eat. I was so fearful of where was the money going to come from. But of course, with the mentors I had in my life, they taught me faith. Have faith over all things. So of course, instead of me wondering about how I was going to eat, or where the food's going to come from, I thought about how I was going to get it. Where am I going to get it from? I got to make it happen. I had faith. I knew in my heart that I was going to be something. But of course, how can you know if you never measure it? You know, I just want to let you guys in on something. You know, 26% of men in our community are dirt poor. Dirt poor. That's 26%. It's about 20 people in here. Can you guys stand up? Can you stand up? These 3 men are dirt poor. They're dirt poor. And it's just 20 of us in here. So imagine 20 million. There's 5 million people in Virginia. 26% of that. Dirt poor. All in our community. And you know why? No financial knowledge. Y'all can sit down now. Oh, good. But if you guys just be interactive with me, how many of us were actually taught something financially? What were you taught, man?
I write a check.
I write a check?
Spend money.
Okay.
So that, I mean, I was taught, you know, when it comes to providing, where money should go, right? And then when it comes to saving, you know, 10% should pay yourself if you can.
Okay. So 10%?
Yeah, that's last. That's the last thing that you do to save.
Okay.
I was taught how to blow money.
Okay.
Yeah, if I want it and I can afford it, go get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I can just be honest with you guys, you were led by a blind man. You know, in the Bible, it speaks in Matthew 15:14, it speaks about blind leading the blind. And you know, if the blind man leads the blind man, they both fall into the ditch. But in this case, instead of falling into the ditch, you fall into debt. So because Justin, you were taught how to blow money, you did what you saw. Monkey see, monkey do. Monkey do 3 times worse than you. So of course, you did what your father taught you 3 times as much. And of course, what you did, your kids will do. So essentially, if you keep on following that same path, you're a blind man leading blind kids. And it keeps going on and on and on and on. But where does it stop? It stops with you. Money can rule the world. Money can rule you. But will you rule your money? That's all I got, man. Thank you.
Hey guys, let's give a hand for all the speakers for the night.
Oh,
I definitely hope Kai, he hosts another barbershop talk event in the near future. And other than that, guys, you have a wonderful evening, okay?
All right.